Picture this. You're on a roller coaster of emotions, constantly feeling like you're being pushed away and pulled back in. Does that sound familiar? Buckle up, because today, we're diving into the whirlwind world of anxious attachment. Number 1. Clingy behavior. Ever feel like you're glued to your partner's side? In this section, we'll explore how clinginess might be a red flag for anxious attachment. Being overly attached to your partner might be a clear sign of anxious attachment. You might find yourself constantly needing reassurance, double texting, or even bombarding them with calls just to feel secure. But here's the thing, that excessive need for closeness can actually push your partner away, leaving you feeling even more anxious. It's a vicious cycle, but understanding the root cause of your clingy behavior can be the first step towards breaking free. So, let's dig deeper and find out how to recognize and overcome this sticky situation. After all, nobody wants to be that person smothering their partner with love, right? Number 2. Fear of abandonment. Do you constantly worry about being left behind? Stick around as we uncover the link between anxious attachment and the fear of abandonment. You might find yourself creating worst-case scenarios in your mind. But here's the catch. This constant anxiety can put a strain on your relationship, ironically increasing the chances of the very thing you fear. Understanding the connection between your fear of abandonment and anxious attachment is key to breaking this cycle. So, let's explore how to recognize this fear and learn to trust in your partner, allowing your relationship to thrive without the shadow of anxiety looming overhead. After all, you deserve a love story without the constant dread, don't you? Number 3. Overanalyzing. Do you spend hours dissecting your partner's every move? We're about to dive into how overanalyzing can signal anxious attachment. You might find yourself obsessing over the meaning behind a text, a pause in conversation, or even a simple glance. But guess what? This relentless analysis can make mountains out of molehills, creating unnecessary stress and anxiety. The truth is, not everything your partner does has a hidden meaning or agenda. By understanding the link between overanalyzing and anxious attachment, you can start to let go of the magnifying glass and embrace a more relaxed approach to your relationship. So, let's learn to live in the moment and leave the detective work to Sherlock Holmes, shall we? Number 4. Excessive need for approval. Are you always seeking validation from your partner? Discover how this constant craving for approval might point to anxious attachment. You might find yourself fishing for compliments, asking for reassurance, or even downplaying your achievements just to get a pat on the back. But here's the twist. Constantly craving approval can make you appear needy and insecure, which may actually push your partner away. By recognizing the connection between anxious attachment and the excessive need for approval, you can begin to cultivate self-confidence and break free from this cycle. So, let's work on building a healthier, more balanced relationship where your self-worth isn't solely tied to your partner's validation. After all, you're fabulous just the way you are. Number 5. Emotional overreactions. Do your emotions go from 0 to 100 in a heartbeat? Stay tuned as we explore the connection between anxious attachment and emotional overreactions. You might find yourself getting overly upset about minor disagreements or blowing things out of proportion. But here's the kicker. These overblown reactions can create a storm of unnecessary drama and conflict, making it harder for you and your partner to maintain a healthy connection. By understanding the relationship between emotional overreactions and anxious attachment, you can start to develop healthier coping mechanisms and dial down the emotional intensity. Number 6. Jealousy and control. Does jealousy rear its ugly head in your relationship? Find out how possessiveness and control might indicate anxious attachment. You might find yourself keeping tabs on their every move, feeling threatened by their friendships, or even making accusations without cause. But here's the problem. This toxic behavior can erode trust and create a suffocating environment for both of you. By recognizing the connection between anxious attachment and jealousy, you can begin to loosen your grip and foster a more secure, trusting relationship. So, let's learn how to banish that green-eyed monster and cultivate a love that thrives on trust and respect. Because true love is about setting each other free, isn't it? Number 7. Roller coaster relationships. Do your relationships feel like a wild ride? In this section, we'll reveal how anxious attachment could be fueling those ups and downs. You might find yourself experiencing intense passion one moment, followed by crushing lows the next. But here's the harsh truth. These extreme fluctuations can be exhausting and unsustainable, potentially leading to relationship burnout. By identifying the link between anxious attachment and rollercoaster relationships, you can start to build a more stable and secure connection with your partner. So, let's learn how to break free from the dizzying ups and downs and create a love that's built on a solid foundation. Because everyone deserves a relationship that feels like a safe harbor, not an emotional thrill ride, right? Number 8. Codependency. Are you and your partner inseparable, but not in a cute way? We're about to dive into how codependency can be a sign of anxious attachment. You might find yourself relying on your partner for all your emotional needs, making it nearly impossible to function independently. But here's the issue. This unhealthy reliance can create an imbalanced relationship, where both partners struggle to grow and evolve. By understanding the link between codependency and anxious attachment, you can start to develop healthier boundaries and embrace your individuality. So, let's learn how to dance to our own rhythm and create a relationship that celebrates both togetherness and autonomy. Because true love is about growing together, not holding each other back, don't you think? Number 9. Emotional manipulation. Do you sometimes play emotional games to keep your partner close? Discover how anxious attachment might lead to manipulative behavior. You might find yourself using guilt, fear, or even playing the victim to keep your partner close and maintain a sense of control. But here's the harsh reality. These tactics can erode trust and create a toxic dynamic, making it impossible for your relationship to flourish. By recognizing the connection between anxious attachment and emotional manipulation, you can start to develop healthier communication patterns and foster a more genuine bond. So, let's learn how to put down the poker cards and create a relationship built on honesty and respect. Because true love isn't about winning or losing, but about growing together, right? Number 10. Difficulty with boundaries. Do you struggle to respect your partner's boundaries? Stick around as we uncover how anxious attachment can blur those lines. You might find yourself struggling to respect their personal space, emotional needs, or even their privacy. But here's the challenge. Without clear boundaries, it's tough to maintain a healthy, balanced relationship. By recognizing the connection between anxious attachment and boundary issues, you can start to establish and respect those vital lines that keep your relationship thriving. So, let's learn how to create a love that honors both your needs and your partner's. Because a relationship without boundaries is like a house without walls. It just doesn't stand a chance. Don't you agree? Check out this playlist of the top 10 videos on relationship advice for women. And we'll see you in the next video. With love.